Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and in this video I'm going to show you how I created this really simple, really satisfying, pops off the page colored alphabet with colored pencils. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so for this project I'm using a cold press watercolor paper. This isn't like the grittiest cold press watercolor paper. It's pretty smooth. I just like the weight of it, and I like that it gives it a little bit of texture. So you can use whatever paper you want. You could use a super smooth one if that's what you prefer your print to be on, but I really like this little bit of texture. Then I'm using Prismacolor Premier coloring pencils. These are by far the best coloring pencils there are. If you don't have these exact ones, it does not matter. Just grab whatever coloring pencils you have. With colored pencils, it's kind of like, you know, with brush pens and with other art supplies. Usually the more expensive they are, the better quality and the better outcome you're going to get. These ones I just find really vibrant and they blend really nicely together, but you can really use whatever you want for this. It doesn't have to be super fancy. And then I have a Tombow dual brush N95, which is just a really, really light gray. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my really light Tombow brush pen to write out the alphabet in calligraphy so that I can use it as my base to trace my colors through. Now, if you don't have a ton of experience with calligraphy, this might be tricky for you. You might want to do it with a pencil first. You might want to map it out. I'm just going to jump right in and play with it. I think it's going to look really pretty if it's nice and whimsical, but you can take your time with this. I'm just going to do it pretty quickly because this is what I kind of specialize in and I'm good at. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty happy with the layout of this, and now I'm going to take my pencils and I'm going to bring them all out so I can see all the colors. When you're doing a blending piece like this, the best thing to have is like multiple shades of each color so that you can do a really gradual blend, as opposed to having like one red, one orange, one yellow, you know what I mean? So different shades of them. And so I'm going to be working in the rainbow colors from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to start with red, and I'm also going to grab my sharpener because I find when we're doing this, especially on gritty paper, it's really good to have a nice sharp pencil. So I'm going to start with the letter A, and I'm starting in red again at the very top. And I'm going to essentially do like a layer of red and work my way down in the colors. So I want that top section to be in red. So it's really just going to be kind of like the tip of these first two letters. So I'm using the gray as my guidelines, and I'm just tracing over it. And you can see the pencil does cover up the Tombow. So I want to do about the same amount on anything that's on that plane. And having the gray underneath really gives me the guideline to do certain parts of the letter thicker and certain parts of the letter thinner, which would be really hard to do just by eye. Okay, so that's all I'm doing in that darkest red. Next, I'm grabbing this slightly more orange red. It still looks red. It's called poppy red, but it's going to be a little bit more orange. So I'm working from red to orange, and I want kind of like an in-between color here. So just overlapping it with the red a little bit and doing about the same amount of that color. Again, just on whatever hits that plane, that horizontal plane. So it's really just these two letters still. Okay, next, moving again to an even more orangey red. This one's really like in between an orange and a red. I'd say it's definitely moving towards more orange. And I think you're getting the idea at this point. We're really just going to repeat this same process all the way down in the colors of the rainbow. So this one might hit a tiny bit at the top of that C, tiny bit, and a tiny bit at the top of the D here too, and a little bit at the top of the E. Next, I'm grabbing a fully orange one, and this one is gonna hit from here down a little bit more, so we're gonna go even a little into every letter now. I'll start with the B just to see kind of how far down it's gonna go, and then I can mimic that on the first letter, the A. So now I know to go about here on the A. And if it helps you, you can draw in those lines too. Okay, so you definitely get the idea. Like I said, we're gonna work all the way down in the colors of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. I'll probably end up adding pink if I have room down here at the bottom too. But I'm just gonna put on some nice relaxing music, and we can do this alongside each other. If you're doing this with me, let's do it. And there you have it, some super easy blended colored pencil alphabet. Honestly, I just did this piece for fun, but you could totally make this into some kind of print that you would frame. You could do different colors that match whatever room it's going in. You could do this technique obviously for like a happy birthday on a birthday card or something like that. Any sort of blending with colored pencils, it's just so satisfying and it just looks so pretty and it really pops off the page. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved creating it. It was just so satisfying for me. So hopefully you enjoyed watching the process as well. If you create something with this technique, I would love to see it. You can tag me on Instagram at @thehappyevercrafter. And I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel because I put out a new video every single week. Next up, I'm going to share another video that I think you're going to like, and I hope to see you over there.